Welcome back to iWebUnlimited.com. This tutorial is going to show you how to do the fancy zoom effect that we see very commonly in many websites today. And basically that type of website is done, it looks kind of like this, where you click on the image and it'll zoom it up larger in kind of a nice animated fashion. We just click on the little X and it'll go back down. We can even click right in the middle and it'll go back down. We can even have a little fun and hold the shift key down. It'll go in slow motion. So kind of a fun thing, and it's been kind of difficult to do that in iWeb up till now. So this tutorial is to show you exactly how we're going to be able to do that. So let's get to it. Here we are in iWeb. This is the page that I'm going to be using for our tutorial today. And let's start by throwing in a few images. I've got in my Finder window here a few images. Let's just go ahead and just drag and drop some of these in here. I've got some of Las Vegas, some palm trees, Paris, and a little panda over here. Great. So you can see I've got all these images in here. Let's go ahead and size all these down. I'm going to go ahead and select all of them. And I'm going to come into the graphics or the metrics inspector here, and we're going to size these down to maybe about 1/100th in width. Just a small image size, so it makes it pretty dramatic change when we animate them up here. So let's just kind of stick these across the board here. I'll kind of put these all aligned. All right. So that's going to be just about right. Great. The nice thing is, too, is iWeb has this great feature to be able to distribute objects horizontally as well. So now they're all spaced evenly amongst each other. And then while they're all highlighted, we want this to look really nice. So we're going to come into the graphics inspector here. We're going to add ourselves a picture frame. All right, it's looking pretty good. Okay, now that we've got them looking how we want them to look, what we need to do to make this happen is we need to make these each hyperlinks. Okay, so what we're going to do is click on one of these images, come into the hyperlink inspector, enable this as a hyperlink, and choose a file. Then when it asks us what kind of file, we're going to choose the exact same image that we had dragged in. So in this case it's Paris, so I select Paris and I click open. So basically it's linking to itself. Alright, so I'm going to go through and grab the rest of these images and link these to a file as well. This one here is Las Vegas. This one here is my palms. This one here is the panda. And then this last one here, which is me in paradise here. Okay. Now we're really pretty much done with iWeb. So the next step here is that we just simply need to publish. You can either publish to a folder or just simply come down to the left-hand side and hit publish. We're going to publish to mobile me. Perfect. Always save your work, of course, right? Now what we're going to do is we are going to go to our iDisk is the next step. Alright, so we're going to go to a Finder window. And then here's our Finder window, and you see under Devices we have iDisk. Inside of your iDisk, you're going to see the Web folder, and inside the Web folder you will see Sites. And then you will see all the websites that you have published using iWeb. You see the name of my website over here is iWeb Unlimited. You see the same folder right here. This is where we need to do some work inside of here. Okay, now there is one file that you're going to need in order to make this happen. If you go to iWebUnlimited.com, there's one file that we're going to need to access. At the very bottom of our page here is the step-by-step instructions of doing the fancy zoom in iWeb. So we're going to go ahead and click inside here. And down here in step number 4, there's a button that says download this zip file. You will need to click this and download this zip file. Then you will double click the zip file and you will get something that looks like this folder right here. Here's what the zip file will look like. Double click it and you'll get this folder. What we simply need to do is drag this fancy zoom folder into our site. Drag and drop. And then that will copy this whole folder into this site. If you're publishing to a folder, it's going to be the site folder where there's usually an index.html file and the name of your site. Not necessarily inside the page folder files, just simply in the site folder. So we will let that copy up online to the server here. Alright, complete. So it has successfully transferred the files. You see right there, fancy zoom, and it has the exact same thing that was there. Okay, so we are done with this one now. Okay, then the other thing that you're going to need to do is just one more thing. We are going to get into the code just a little bit though, so don't worry too much about it. We're not going to get our hands too dirty in the code. Is inside of that same folder that we had published, you will find your HTML file. In this particular case is my HTML file that I'm going to want to change. You'll notice this is the name that you had given it in iWeb. You'll notice here in iWeb I titled this page Fancy Zoom. And I see the exact same page here now in my iDisk. Again, kind of to retrack, it's in the iDisk, Web, Sites, the name of your published folder, and then the page. So we need to edit this with something that can edit HTML. Of course, there's Adobe Dreamweaver, there's Coda, which is my particular favorite. You can even edit this with the free text edit if you'd like. So there are a lot that you can edit this with. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I typically would use Coda, but I'm going to go ahead and do this one with text edit, as everybody will have text edit on their machine. So I simply hit text edit, and it opens it up. Okay, so here we are in text edit, and we can see that there's a bunch of code inside here. Okay, there's only two things that we need to edit as far as the code. There's not a whole lot that we need to do inside here. Just two things. If you go back to my iWebUnlimited.com, you'll find in step 5 the two items right here that you will need to change. Number one, you'll need to find the head and replace it with this script here. So inside of text edit, if we do Command F, then they have this little find window where we can say what we want to find and what we want to replace with. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come to the web page and we're going to highlight head, copy, go back and paste, and replace it with this code right here, copy, paste. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and say replace. Okay, now that has replaced that into our document. If we were to try to search for that head, we now see that it's actually in there exactly how we have it in here. Great. Then just one more item. Find and replace this page, copy, paste. Grab the second item to replace with, copy, triple clip, 1, 2, 3, paste. Alright, and we just say replace. Okay, so now that has found it and it has replaced it. Okay, so we are in good shape. So now all we need to do is just go File, Save. Okay, and that is going to save it back up onto the iDisk. And really we are finished. So now we can close this down. And if we go to our website directly, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So now here we are. Now if we click on one of the images, voila, it's working just great. We can click on it, it zooms up, and it looks great. So that is a little tutorial how to get it working inside of your iWeb. Hopefully that makes sense to you. There are some other tips as well that if you wanted to change these, you can find them on the website as well to change the titles. It's really a simple matter of finding in your file the href file, and then you'll see in every single one of them there's a section that says title right there. Title, fancy zoom, and I could come in here and say Jason in Paradise, you know. Then just simply save that again. And if we go back to our page and refresh it, and I click on this, we'll see that down below there, Jason in Paradise. So very nice. So hopefully that makes sense to you, and you're able to make yourself a nice little fancy zoom, and you can enjoy this great effect. So thanks for watching, and be sure to check back for new iWeb Unlimited tutorials. Thanks again, and have a great day.